Hey everybody, my name is Brian Harris with Harris Mortgage, and this is your September monthly mortgage update. The first thing we talk about every month are rates. So for a rate update, there's no nice way to put it. There's no easy way to deliver this news. It was rough. And I'd like to add, this is not a rate quote, it's just rates for conversation purposes. But roughly speaking, conventional and FHA loans increased about 1% in the month of August. I wanted to put some context to the move in rates we've seen this year. Pretty unprecedented. So to bring the numbers to life, in the first column here, I have your payment for a $700,000 purchase with 20% down at the beginning of the year. Let's just assume if your rate was 3.125, it's not a rate quote. And then today, if your rate was 5.75, how much that payment changes. And it looks like it's actually going to increase your overall payment by 27%. And I'm including taxes and insurance, and those will actually stay the same. So all that increases on the interest side of your mortgage payment. And then another way to look at this move is to keep that same payment we had at the beginning of the year at current rates. How much purchasing power do you lose? So roughly speaking, it's all about $150,000 in purchasing power. So that $700,000 purchase at the beginning of the year, you can have a similar payment to the $550,000 purchase that you'd have today. There's a Fed meeting coming up this month. It's September 21st. It's expected the Fed will raise rates by either 50 or 75 basis points. I want to explain potentially why we had these major swings in rates. There's a big drop in rates last month, an increase in rates this month. And there was this consensus among economists and market participants that the Fed was going to raise rates and then in 2023 start lowering rates. And so you can see these headlines. It was, Wall Street Journal, Reuters, Bloomberg, all the major news networks were putting out this information. Certainly not everyone felt this way, but there was a significant percentage of people who felt, the Fed's going to start cutting rates in 2023. I think it speaks to just people being hooked or addicted to these low rates. But the reason we had this big jump this month is the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, had a speech in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and he kind of just dropped the hammer. He said, stop the record.
And go, stop the record. And rewind that.
And what he said is that we're going to have some pain.
While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain.
In that speech, he indicated he's going to raise rates, the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates, and then keep them there for a bit, check things out. And so he really, I feel, my opinion, just wanted to get rid of that belief out there that, we're going to raise rates through the year and then start lowering rates next year, which never made any sense to me. But he really dropped the hammer and kind of put that thought, got that out of the market. So where does that leave us? Or in the description, I'll post a link to an article, Rising Mortgage Rates Complicate Decision on Buying versus Renting. So it's difficult. The rates moving so fast. You would expect some softening in prices, and that just hasn't happened yet, or hasn't happened much yet. If you look at the ratio of mortgage payment to rent, it's at levels that we hadn't seen in over a decade. So if you're looking to buy, I think if you're comfortable with the payment, it still makes sense to own your home. With inflation, real estate's been one of those investments that's tracked well with inflation. I expect rent to continue to move higher with inflation. So, it's a tough pill to swallow, and I'm not trying to push anyone in one direction or the other, but really the goal of this monthly video is just to give you information on what's happening. So hopefully this article and this information makes that decision easier for you to make. I wanted to talk about 2 new programs that I have access to through a lender I'm approved with. One is a HELOC. So I've been getting calls all year about refinancing, and I just almost exclusively have told people, no, you shouldn't do it, and you should go open a HELOC with somebody, which I don't do. So just sort of refer out that business. So I do have access to a HELOC now. When those conversations come up, I can offer an option. So that's good news for me, and I think for all you as well. And I have access to a 2-1 or a 0-1 buy down. So the way that this works is there's a credit, there's money it's funded from the seller. So usually you'll get a seller credit from the seller to the buyer, and it'll fund this, where for the 2-1 buy down, for the first year, your rate is lowered by 2%. In the second year, 1%. And then in the third year, it goes back to the note rate you originated the mortgage at. So for example, if your rate's 5, for the first year, your interest rate will be 3, and the second year 4, and then it goes to 5. Now this won't help you qualify. You'll still qualify at the note rate, but it just will lower your payment. And again, at this point, it's funded by the seller. There's indications there's going to be some tweaks where the buyer, maybe someone else might be able to fund it, but that's how it's structured right now. And maybe it's better to just get the credit if you are able to get a seller credit like that. But it's nice for that first year, especially where you move into a new house, and there's always expenses that come up. It starts with the moving expenses and furniture and utilities. So it gives you that year or two to get your feet underneath you while you adjust that payment, and hopefully within 2 years out, maybe, who knows, maybe you can refinance to a lower fixed rate. So that's all we got this month. Rates popped up. We got a Fed meeting in September. We have a HELOC we could talk about. We got a 2-1 buy down. The Fed's not deterred. They're as convicted as ever to fight inflation. It's probably a long-term good thing. Short-term, tough pill to swallow. Alrighty, until next month, thanks everyone. Have a great week. Take care. Or month. Bye.